In my last video, I talked about using a one-click install to install your Nodemation nodes into the DigitalOcean app platform. Well, turns out there were a few bugs with that, and it weren't bugs from my end, there were bugs on the Nodemation side. It looks like Nodemation wasn't really set up for using the DigitalOcean app platform. There have been a couple of fixes for that and progress made, so I want to share that with you. Let's get into it. As you can see in some of these comments, you can get the Nodemation installed into the DigitalOcean app platform, but then things don't really work internally, like the workflows don't seem to work and stuff like that. So what we have here is an open ticket with Nodemation. And so basically the issue is that Nodemation is using event sourcing and instead of WebSockets. WebSockets is a little bit of a newer technology and it works better as well. So Matt Hi JS166 has done a lot of the work to help us move away from the event source and move into the WebSocket. And so if you'll come back to this pull request here, then you can see when it actually gets pushed into the master version of Nodemation. Until then, he's put together a Docker container that actually works using WebSockets. So what I'd like to do is go through the process of getting Nodemation installed using the DigitalOcean's app platform. I've gone through and updated this so that instead of using the official Nodemation Docker container, it uses Matt Hi 166's Docker container. When Nodemation actually finishes getting this pull request verified and pulled into the master branch, and this is all fixed, then I'll go through and update this again to use the official one. Either you can jump over to my repository over here and click on this Deploy to DigitalOcean button, or you can click on the link in the description below. If you use the link in the description below, then you're going to get $200 off for the next 60 days if you are a new user of DigitalOcean. So let's go through that process. We're going to deploy to DigitalOcean. That's going to bring up this page here that gives us what services are going to be created inside your account. Now, if you weren't logged in, then you're going to need to log in, but then it'll take you over here. All right, let's look at these. We have two services. There's the web service and the database. So let's go ahead and edit this plan. Now, there's the two plans here, the basic and the production. I've always just used this basic one and then selected $5 a month. All right, let's back up and we're going to click on next. Now, there's going to be a couple of environment variables here. Now, this is an important place because all of the environment variables that you want to include in your Nodemation environment can show up here. You can check out all of the environment variables over at Nodemation's documentation. Here are the Nodemation environment variables. You can take a look at all of these different variables. Any of these things you can add to your deployment over at the app platform. You can edit the name right here if you want to change the name to something that applies to you a little bit more. For now, I'm going to leave it as that. We're just going to click next. After that, we're going to review all of the different pieces. You can, again, edit the plan right here as well. There's all the environment variables and where this is going to be set up and what that is going to cost monthly. Then you can click on the Create Resources. Now, this does take a little while. For me, it's taken up to 15 minutes before to go through and actually finish. One of the other pieces is sometimes I've found as I've gone through this process a couple of times, the first time maybe didn't work for whatever reason. And so whenever I've just tried redeploying, it seems like it's finished and it's been able to get installed all the way from there. So I'm going to let this, actually, let's click on this build logs right here. You can see in a live setting here, what are the different things that are going to come through. I'm going to wait for a little while for this to finish, and then we're going to go and check it out. And there we have it. Our deployment of Nodemation is now successful. So now what we can do is we're going to go through and we're going to click on this Live App button. This is going to take you over to your Nodemation instance on the web. So as you can see over here, this is the URL for your Nodemation. Now, if if that's good enough for you, then awesome. You're done right here. Go ahead and fill out your stuff and you're good to go. But if you're somebody who wants to have a specific domain for that, let's go and let's do a few extra pieces. Now we can click over here on domains and you click on edit and add domain. Now, if you have your own domain name, then you can go through and add a subdomain to that domain name and make this work over here. So let's jump over to Cloudflare. We're going to log in. So over here, I have johnkrasik.com. Right now, there's nothing pointing to johnkrasik.com, but we're going to add a new record here. We're going to do, this is going to be a CNAME. I'm going to switch that to CNAME and then N8N. And now we need to know what the target is. So let's jump back over here. Let's do N8N.johnkrasik.com. There we are. Okay, and we're going to click this, you manage your domain. Now, if you want them to manage it, that's great. I'm going to go through this right here. So go ahead and click on this copy button here. That's going to copy the address of your Nodemation. We're going to paste it right there. And then we're going to uncheck this proxy status right there. Now you're going to click save. And once that's finished, we're going to come back over here to our domain and click add domain. As soon as that's finished, then it's going to rebuild our app. Once it's done rebuilding that, then we'll come back and we'll show how this works. And there it is. We now have set up our domain name, n8n.johnkrasik.com. You can click on this live app button or over here. And that then gets you to your Nodemation instance. Let's type in some info. Now we can go through and start from scratch. One of the things that didn't work before was webhooks. So right here you can see n8n.johnkrasik.com. All of this is set up correctly. Let's copy our link to our webhook and jump over to Postman to send over a request to that spot. I forgot though, we need to go through and get the listen for our test event. So now that's listening. Let's go ahead and send it. And hey, our workflow was started. Let's check out our workflow. And there it is. It has come through. You can see all of this information is now populated. That's one of the things that didn't happen before, is it would just keep listening forever. But as you can see, this is working now. You can then go through and build out the rest of your workflow, and it all works awesome. Let's do one more real quick, and I just want to show that you can run this manually. I'm not actually going to stick anything in it, executing it. And there you go. The workflow was just executed like we wanted it to. Okay, awesome. Now, there's a couple of caveats with this process. One, like I said, this is a fork of Nodemation that is going to get merged back into Nodemation in the future. But as you can see down over here, this is not all the way up to date with Nodemation. And so you'll have to wait until this has been re-merged into Nodemation to get the next updates. So if that's a deal breaker for you, then you may have to just install this using my other installation method, which is using an Ansible playbook to install your app into a DigitalOcean droplet as opposed to the app platform. Well, that's all there I have for today. Check out my other videos, and I will see you in the next one.